Celestial Dragons, Roger, Garp, and Rocks. What happened at God Valley? Also, what was the bounty reveals? Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, the Go Mary, a channel dedicated to the amazing world and story of One Piece. And today we'll be diving into some thoughts and analysis of chapter 957. So the chapter starts with a very important conversation between Akainu and Vishtura about the warlords and how the fleet admiral was against their punishment, and Vishtura telling him that, well, there were sacrifices with that, like Dressrosa Kingdom and Alabasta, so you can't really decide, and that you should put full faith on the SSG to be on the same level as the warlords. I really want to know what Vagabond came up with that will be on the same power levels or on the same authority as Mihawk, Paul Hancock, Weevil, and Buggy, you know. But at the same time, Ken says, oh, did you know that Big Mom and Kaido join hands again? So it's the return of the rocks. And we see how Vishtura is really exclaimed by that news. And it got me thinking, like, the SSG is good, or Vishtura is confident with SSG when it comes to the warlords only, but when two emperors join hands, oh, it's out of the SSG league. So what is the SSG invention? I really want to know. So we go to the important part now. Sengoku telling young Marines about the rocks and how their captain, Rox Dizebak, was able to collect Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, and other names like Captain Joan, Silver Axe, Wang Z. So it really got me thinking, who Rox Dizebak? Was he stronger than Roger? And what happened at the God Valley? Because Sengoku tells us that on the day the rocks fell, it was by the hand of the Vice Admiral Garp, the hero of the Marine. But Garp doesn't want to talk about it a lot because he joined hands with a pirate, which is the king of pirates, Goldie Roger. And at the same time, it was to protect the Celestial Dragons. And we know that Zebek wanted to be king of the world, so he probably wanted to kill all the Celestial Dragons. I really want to know the motives of... We know the motives of Garp because he's a pirate, it's okay. But what were the motives of Goldie Roger to fight against him, you know? And was he prepared for, or did they just meet, you know? Because in the manga, Sengoku says Garp meets Roger, who was there. It's like, it's not planned, you know? So if it was planned, I really want to see them planning it. And I really want to know the matchups, like, was Rayleigh and the whole Roger crew on that, and Garp was alone without anybody with him, just his, you know, young Marines. And if that's the case, did Roger and Garp were against Rocks, and Big Mom against Rayleigh, you know, the Rocks had the numbers a little bit, I think. But at the same time, the previous chapter, not the previous chapter 956, no, the chapter 1000, or I think 999, Big Mom says, tells Kaido, I gave you the fish no mi on the days that rocks fell. So that Kaido and Big Mom flee, this scenario doesn't make sense as well, you know? So I really want to know more about the God Valley incident. And I want to know how the Celestial Dragons were evolved, you know? Because from what Sengoku says, the Celestial Dragons were on God Valley. Or that's how I imagined it. We also get some reveals about the yonkou bounties. Something that I really want to know since the bounty system occurred, you know, back in East Blue. Especially Goldie Roger and Shanks, both of them, because Shanks was the reason why Luffy became pirate, and he was the first pirate we knew in the series, you know. Also Goldie Roger because he's the pirate king. We shall know the top pirate. What was his bounty? I didn't care more about Kaido and Big Mom, but it was nice to see them as well, because it gives us a hierarchy where Goldie Roger and Whitebeard, the legendary era, with Garp and Sengoku, this era, and they are on the very top. They are 5 billion plus. Then we see a younger generation, Kaido and Big Mom. Kaido was a apprentice at the Rocks, and Big Mom was at the Rocks as well. So both of them are like at the end of the 4 billions. And then we see Shanks and Teach, both of a younger generation. And Shanks is 4 billion. Teach is much less, but it's 2 billion and many things. So 2 billion is not bad at all. It's just very small compared to Big Mom, Kaido, and Shanks. Then we see the 5th Emperor, our protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy, sitting at 1 billion and 500. It's not revealed here, but I want to just point out the hierarchy of the bounties here. And now we know the goal. I want Luffy to be at least 5 billion, right? So that he can become the Pirate King. Also, I want to know the Shibukai, the Warlord's bounties, like where to set Mihawk, Bo Hancock, Weevil, Buggy. It's really interesting to know their bounties as well. But I think that chapter wanted to tell us the direct challenges that Luffy wants to overcome. So giving us the tip top, Roger. So that's where Luffy should be. But giving us Mihawk, Bo Hancock, and the Warlords doesn't really convey more information, like in a storytelling perspective. But I really want to know it. I really want to know where Mihawk, especially, and Bo Hancock. So after getting their bounties, we see a meeting between Akainu and Sengoku. And Akainu is like, we don't have the manpower to go fight the Return of the Rocks, or fight in Wano. And Sengoku is just saying, that's not what I was implying here. I'm just saying the young Marines, because the history repeats itself, and they should know the history to see the obstacles in the future. And don't you think it's more than a coincidence that many big names were involved with Wano, like Roger, Whitebeard, Oden, Kaido, Big Mom now? Why? Is there something in Wano? I really think that Wano has more to it than it's an Emperor territory or Kaido's main place. I don't think that's the case only. Because Wano was where the bunny glyphs were made, right? But I think there is more to it than the bunny glyphs were made there. Okay, that's amazing. But what else? Of course, there's more to it, right? Because Whitebeard went there. Why did he go there when he met Oden? Why did he go there? Was he just traveling? I don't think so. So that's it about 957. Amazing chapter, full of reveals. I like the chapters full of reveals, also with action. Both these things I really like the chapters with the poneglyphs, amazing. Chapters with fighting, like the last chapter 1001, it was really short, but it was amazing and full of comedy as well. And I did a video about chapter 1001 if you want to really check it out. It's the last video uploaded to the channel. So tomorrow I'll be discussing chapter 958, and we'll be starting the Oden flashback in that chapter, I think. So we'll be discussing that until we reach chapter 1001, or the current chapter we are on. That's it. See you next time.